Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I hope all of you had a beautiful weekend, sending you all love and high vibrations. The crypto market was all over the place over this weekend, but as I mentioned to you guys in my last video, to watch out for the 177th day of the year, and that's exactly when we got our lows. And since then, we've had a nice bounce, and I'm expecting to see a recovery over the next couple of weeks. Today we'll be going over the Bitcoin and XRP charts and see what's going on as we move into our monthly close for the month of June. So, if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. Also, just a reminder, I'm running a sale on my Mastermind course until the end of this month. For those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course with the promo code in the pinned comment below to get a discount. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. The sale will be live until July 1st. There's over 100 video lessons in my course teaching my strategies of how to read the charts and how to invest consciously and responsibly in this crypto market. And in the month of July, I'll be doing a Gematria Masterclass for the Patreon supporters of the Mastermind community. So for those of you that are waiting to join the Patreon at the start of July, it'll be perfect timing. I'll be doing one decode of a different crypto every week of July for a total of 4 decodes. So the Mastermind community is going to have even more value alongside my exclusive Patreon posts, my weekly Red Pill episode, technical analysis podcast, and access to our group chat on Discord where all the enlightened wolves are hanging out together in this matrix. Oh, and tomorrow, I'll be getting interviewed by 3T Warrior Academy at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to chatting with Coach JV and letting his community know a little bit more about what we're doing over here, spreading red pills like seeds. I'm definitely excited for that interview. So go over to 3T Warrior Academy's channel and show some love. The interview will be live streamed on his channel and uploaded to my channel afterwards. So with that being said, let's take the red pill. So we're going to actually start with the dollar index, the DXY. And the reason that I wanted to start here is because we had a big fake out breakout last week and we saw a huge correction after failures of new highs. So on this big green candle week, it was because the FOMC meeting, the Federal Reserve discussing interest rates into 2023. And essentially what happened was within a week of that, there was a rejection somewhere around 92.4, and then it slid back down. Now, if I bring up some of my moving averages, one of the things that I found out today was this rejection off of this white moving average, which is the 55 simple. And I really like the 55. A lot of people like the 50, but I personally like the 55 because it's a Fibonacci number. And I use Fibonacci numbers for my moving averages. So this rejection off of that 55 was critical because we didn't even make it up to this trend line, and I was expecting this trend line to get a retest. I still think there's a possibility of it, but in my opinion, this sort of manipulation right here is classic. Every time the Federal Reserve has a big speech to make, this is typically the kind of volatility you get. Even in a market where we've had a $6 trillion infrastructure package deal passed, and the printing is no different than it was last year. It's basically out of control. So with this rejection, we're probably going to see it respond into the stock market as a whole. So just to clear up this idea that there's a stock market crash, please understand that we are literally creating new all-time highs week after week after week. S&P 500 even has started on new highs. A little bit of pressure today, but the stock market just opened about 45 minutes ago. And the Dow Jones is just doing what the Dow Jones does, which is completely returning back to this trend line, this pink trend line, time and time again, basically since the C-word crash. So we actually called out this correction to come back down to these levels about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it happened perfectly. And as you can see, we got this reverse twin towers formation. It's something I always call when I see the candle bodies being almost identical, and it's happened back here and it happened back here, so it keeps happening. And in the beginning of my mastermind course back in September of 2020, I was bringing up this possible double bottom correction around the election, and we called that literally perfectly. And then since then, the S&P has rallied up, another 20%. So it's pretty amazing. I'm not really into stocks too much. I'm not really big into looking at these indices, but I do like to look at them to just get a general idea of what's going on in the market. Of course, the NASDAQ being more tech sector. So it's really interesting because typically when the NASDAQ's doing really good, the cryptos are doing really good. And lately the cryptos have been doing really bad, but that's just because, in my opinion, we are past the halving exactly 1 year. And typically a year after the Bitcoin halving, we have a large pullback. And in this case, we actually had an over exuberant crypto market for too many consecutive months, and that led to an even bigger pullback, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So really quickly, I'm going to bring up this chart. This is something I discussed on my Red Pill episode yesterday. It looks very chaotic, but pretty much what's going on here is I have fibs pulled from local high on the top of May 2011 down to the swing low in November 2011. Then I have another fib pulled from the all-time high back in November 2013, pulled down to the low of January 2015. And then again, our most recent bull run that we have surpassed from December 2017 to the swing low down in December 2018. And I'm seeing basically this retest of this key moving average, this key Fibonacci level, the 1618. So if you look back here, if I zoom in, you could see things a little more clearly now. I'm also in log scale and I'm on the weekly chart. So what we get right here is after we surpass the previous all-time high, we move up exuberantly and then we get a large, harsh correction, and then essentially some sideways and then continuation into the fall time. Now let's go over here. We have new all-time high surpassed, and then we move up pretty exuberantly and then retest the 1618 and then continuation into new highs near the end of the year. And since we've had basically creation of new highs, but this structure was just greens the whole way, basically all the way back from October, green, straight line breakout, which is pretty weird for Bitcoin. It wouldn't necessarily be weird for something like altcoins, but since Bitcoin's a more mature asset, to see it just continually do this sort of move to the upside, it's why I called this top right here of 56,000 the buying climax, and that was a perfect call, because if you study Wyckoff, even if you get higher highs after that, they're not much higher. And these are just supply tests to see that if there's buyers, and there wasn't. Buyers were exhausted at this $60,000 level, and then you came right back down to the 1618. So this chart, I could break down a lot deeper, but the point of bringing it up is as long as we're closing monthly candles above the 30,000 level, which is exactly the 1618 golden ratio Fibonacci, I suspect that we're just having a needed correction to continue. We need to shake out high leveraged players in this game, and I will be touching on that in a moment. But just to clear up the confusion of what's going on, people have been calling for 23,000 or 14,000 Bitcoin and all this shit, and honestly, it's typically because a lot of them don't know how to study the past, and that's what true technical analysis is. Technical analysis is more of studying data from the past in the charts rather than implementing predictions for the future. And what happens is, because this space has been growing and growing and growing, it's more attractive when we give everyone these exuberant price targets in the future. That's why the best performing channels in this space are all talking about $300,000 Bitcoin, or if you're an XRP army cult member, it's going it's going to $500 XRP. Like, all this shit is for likes. It's all for likes and to grow, because that's what people like to hear. People like to hear the blue pill. Now, my work is centered around the red pill, and that's why I've been telling everyone $144,000 Bitcoin into those mid 150s is all I'm seeing. $7 to $10 XRP is all I'm really seeing in this cycle. This cycle isn't going to be these insane numbers that some people are putting out for these top cryptos. So anyways, there's another video in the making for that. I'm sure that's going to get a lot of people angry because people are part of a cult. And when you're part of a cult, it's impossible for you to read history's data and see the ability to connect the dots. And I believe that's been what's the focal point of my work. So just one little cheat code right here. We see that if you pull the swing high to swing low, we're getting the high at the 39 fib extension. Then if you do the same thing in the next bull run, you're getting the 19.5 fib extension. Now, that's at exact half. We hit the high at an exact half. So if you divide 39 by 2, you get 19.5. And that gave you your exact top. So if we're doing the same thing, the 19.5 divided by 2, you're getting the 9.75 fib, which puts you around the 165,000 level. So we'll see how this goes. A lot of people have been talking about pi cycle top indicator. They've been talking about the death cross. So let's quickly clear up the death cross. I'm not even going to show you the indicators because there's a bajillion videos out there basically spewing this idea. But all in all, the death cross being either the 200 simple and the 50 moving average on the daily, but it doesn't really matter. My point of this is that these really dramatic moves that are happening in this market are due to leverage. Another thing is they're due to the ease of access of being able to purchase cryptocurrency. So back in the 2017 bull run and the bull run before that, we didn't really have this much leverage. We didn't have the ability to have a 100x long on some random shit coin. So right now, this market is over leveraged and it has a lot of fake liquidity pumping it left and right. And that's pretty indicative of an economic crisis. During an economic crisis, you see wealth transfers happening in sectors that are highly speculative. And I'm not calling crypto highly speculative, but a majority of cryptos are. Maybe 99% of all cryptocurrencies are highly speculative. Again, if you look at CoinMarketCap, you'll see about 11,000 cryptocurrencies. That is unnecessary. That is all just new coins being added so whales can pump up liquidity into them and then sell the bag to retail over and over and over again. And of course, there's some sophisticated retail players that have learned TA and have learned how to trade, and they're taking advantage of that stuff too. I'm not against people seeking opportunity, so please understand what I'm trying to say right now. But what I am saying is that when you have leverage, when you have 99% of cryptos having zero utility, zero fundamentals, zero use case, and then you have over minting of stable coins such as USDT and USDC, even USDC, like everyone gives USDT shit, but at the end of the day, it's just a figment of our imagination. Any stable coin is bullshit because it's backed by fiat. So this idea that USDT is a fractional reserve because it's not backed by fiat, that's like the Pinocchio story not being backed up by Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat. Like, it's Fugazi. Disregard it. It doesn't matter. It's all just news and theater. So people need to move past that stuff. I hope now you see that this is so much more than what it seems on the surface. There's no Zero Hedge article or, coin stamp or whatever the fuck shit comes out on the news, even in crypto news. It is all just dopamine. That's all it's designed to do. It's designed for clicks, and dopamine spikes. So my feelings on this quote unquote death cross that has happened is we need to consider leverage. And there's a lot of leverage in this market and a lot of fake money in general and a lot of unsophisticated traders who now can just trade straight off of a phone app. It's too easy now. It's too easy to get money and it's too easy to lose it. So again, pay attention to what's going on in the charts and what's going on in the market caps of some of these stable coins, and you'll be able to figure it out for yourself. when you see that the FUD of USDT comes out, but then again, right now it's sitting at 4.5 of all the crypto market cap, you gotta open your eyes to that kind of shit, because it's impossible to disregard. Now, so there's a couple things that are going on in this Bitcoin chart. Of course, you have this big curve right here. I call it the firmament. Then we have this noticeable resistance, which flipped support for a short time and then got broken through on the bigger correction. And then we have this blue trend line. Should put it in log. This blue trend line coming in at what was the bull trap, and then a retest back in the new moon of June, and then I suspect we're going to be running into it in a couple of days. We're going to be running into a lot of trend line resistance, and this is something that I'm really interested in, because about all of these resistance levels will be tested within 2 weeks, and then we have that new moon on July 9th. I've been telling you guys, new moons are bullish, and they're not meaning not new highs in the structure, but they're generally bullish. Okay, so another thing that I've been looking to is these Bollinger Bands on the daily, and how these Bollinger Bands align with what I've been seeing. I'm going to turn off everything now except for them, so to hide the drongs and just keep my BBs. Now, what I've been telling you guys is anything above 42,000 on a daily closure, you're going to start to see a move pretty high pretty quick. I mean, I would expect 47,000 to happen probably within a 48-hour time span. So what's going on here is the bottom band has been a very nice support, and this topside band has been a resistance only one time since we had a supply test back at $63,000 Bitcoin. So all in all, we could come back up to these 41,000 levels and then just get rejected and continue to range until next new moon. But what I'm seeing is that this market has been drawn out for over a month and a half now. It's time to see some bullish momentum when the fear in this market is at all-time highs. The fear and greed index is consecutively in insanely low levels, as low as the pandemic. So this is kind of the time where, to be a contrarian, you need to understand that if everyone is fearful, you need to flip your switch and go bullish, even if it's short term. So in the meantime, I'm anticipating this Bollinger Band to come in also with this 236 fib. So anything above this Bollinger Band closure or around the 382, I'm still anticipating retests of the 236. I don't think we're just going to keep raging to the upside and then not come back down. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think there's a V-shaped recovery in this market during the month of July or in August. I still see it ranging. So we could pop up to 50,000 and still come right back down to 37. That's in the cards. So anyways, please go ahead, like this video, and also if you're new here and you like what we're doing, give us a subscribe. Appreciate all of you. We just passed 10K subscribers, looking to grow the wolf pack into 20K very soon. Let's get into the XRP charts. Gonna turn off these silly Bollinger Bands. So what's going on here was on the 22nd of June, we went into oversold territory on the RSI. We got about the 27 read, and that's about the area I anticipated a bounce. I told all of you guys during that day that I suspect that that is the bottom, 51 cents on the 15 date numerology. Again, if those of you are new here, this is the first time you're watching this video, go back to last week's videos and just skim through them, and you'll see that we are using Gematria Numerology and Astrology to be able to determine some of the calls that we're making in this market. Now, with this RSI being oversold and this perfect 15 number coming into play for XRP, which it likes to do, I mentioned to everyone that would be the bottom. And essentially what's going on here is we re-entered the golden pocket area between 65 cents and 55 cents of the previous fractal. Now, this 888 sitting at the 72 cent level tells me that if we get a daily closure above 72 cents, I'm anticipating a reversal and a sharp move into this 86 cent level of the 236. Now, this is something to pay attention to if you're a big XRP holder, because this has been a support line for about 30 days, a full month. So when we come back up to this level of 86 cents, you better anticipate some resistance. Of course, we should anticipate some resistance. But if we just charge right through it, anything above $1.10, it's going to get bullish very fast. And I would get a little bit cautious that there's too much greed entering this market. And I would be looking to de-risk positions in regards to that. So 110 will be where bears get exhausted, and basically it'll break right through, and it could go to the 140 levels pretty fast. So the big levels here are 86 cents. Breaking that, we go to $1.10, and then breaking $1.10, you're pretty much going to move into greed, and that's where, you know, I would anticipate bull trap. Bull trap, come back down to 236 fib. That would be the most bullish thing to happen. The most bearish thing to happen would be a return back to the 50s. People say that's impossible. I don't. I think that's very, very possible in this market. That's why in my prediction video where I was mentioning upwards of $1.40 by next month around the new moon, that we can still come down lower, come down to lows, because that's what a bull trap does. That wasn't my end of the year prediction. That was just a short term me telling you guys the technical play that I see. And that's because of what XRP does all the time, which is gets really oversold and then it bounces 100 to 200, maybe even 300% to the upside. So you can see right here on this SEC dump, the total move up into the golden pocket was 283% in 50 days. Okay, that's massive. And if you count this fake out because of that Wall Street Bets pump group, you actually could have taken that advantage of 300% in 34 days. So it's not impossible, okay? It happens. And nobody even knew about that pump group's coordination really until the day before. That's when it started to become popular news. And of course it was a pump and dump. It was classic. I remember that day. I traded that day like a beast. It was one of my best trading days I've had since the SEC dump, actually. So anyways, we are also seeing that the MACD is sort of about to flip bullish. We probably need a day or so to get that to occur. And then we have our 2-day, 3-day closures near the end of the month. Again, I'm not really too worried about this monthly closure because we're just so bearish now. And when things get overly bearish because of leverage predominantly, a lot of those technicals go away on the monthly closures. So anyways, I have that interview tomorrow with 3T Warrior Academy at 2 p.m. Eastern Time or 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The Mastermind course is on sale for the next couple of days. Definitely take advantage of that because I'll be increasing the price starting in July. You'll be able to get it at a discount. Over 100 instructional video lessons teaching technical analysis combined with Gematria. I appreciate all of you guys who are waiting to start Patreon on the 1st of July. It's going to be an awesome month doing that Gematria masterclass with everyone. Really excited to be decoding those 4 cryptos that you guys voted on. And it'll be just awesome to be able to teach you guys a lot more of my methods and make this community even stronger. So enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.